We are hitting the post. NorthJerseySports.com's original multimedia series talking all things soccer across North Jersey. This is Season 5, Episode 2, and we are just getting into the soccer swing. I am Corey Doviak, being joined by Richie Ballgame Barton. What's up, Richie B?
Not much, just, finally getting back at it today, and I got a good one, I got to tell you.
All right, well, we will talk about the game that you covered today. We will talk about the game that I covered on Monday as we are finally upping our coverage of sport. I want to make this declaration right here at the top of the show. Now, we've been football heavy, admittedly, through the month of September. As, it started early. We had the chance to get a couple Thursday games. We do a football show every week. All of those things. But I am here to proclaim that starting tomorrow with the opening round of the Bergen County Girls Soccer Tournament, it is going to kick off Soccer Month on NorthJerseySports.com. We'll be upping our coverage. We'll be doing more shows. We'll be getting to more games. So it's happening. And we are starting tonight, actually, because we have a big show for you. The aforementioned Bergen County Girls Soccer Tournament gets underway on Thursday. We will talk about it with the head coach of the third-seeded Ramsey Rams. Our friend Kevin Sabella will join us. And we are also going to talk boys soccer with a man who, if soccer the game had a voice, it would sound exactly like that of Northern Valley Old Tappan head coach Mark Torrie. He will also join us on the show tonight. So, Richie B, a plethora right here on Hitting the Post.
No better way to kick off Soccer Month than a big show like this.
It's got a good ring to it, right? Soccer Month, sponsored by Felician University. A team, a university with a Division II soccer team, high-level CAC. So they sponsor our coverage, and we are going to get it started quickly. I was at Cliffside Park. I just want to talk about this, not necessarily the game itself. Cliffside Park boys soccer is back, by the way. I went down to Cliffside below Route 4, south of Route 4. Corey Doviak has done it twice this year, 3 times if you include all the games I've been to, so all the haters, I'm dabbing on you. You can't see that, but I just dabbed on the haters, as my 16-year-old daughter has taught me to do. So, Cliffside Park soccer is back, but craziest, this is why covering high school sports is great. You show up to the field, sometimes you get a whole Hummer, sometimes, even after 20-plus years of doing this, you see things that you have never seen before, and I have never seen 2 officials walk over to the midfield stripe and tell the coaches, you know what, we've lost control of this game, we're suspending it, and we're leaving. Richie B, what is that?
As a player throughout high school and college who was admittingly a dirty player and involved in some scrapes, I've never even heard of anything like that. That is totally bonkers. I don't even know what to say. It's nuts.
Yeah, completely ridiculous, because if you think about it, they didn't even hand out a red card. So it's not even like they ever really tried to get control of the match. They just kind of, wow, it's really bad out there. I don't want to do this anymore. Anyway, it shouldn't take away from the fact that Cliffside Park improved to 5-0, and the seeding for the Bergen County Boys Soccer Tournament takes place next Tuesday. Games up to and including Monday count, so we'll get more into that next week. Cliffside's definitely going to be a player, I feel, with that. And then you got a boys soccer game today, and it's an interesting story for 2 reasons. Lyndhurst won again, but the news out of that is that Bergen Charter is competitive.
Bergen Charter is competitive. I mean, they came in the game undefeated, and they've won a couple of wacky games. They won a 1-0 game against Leonia with a late goal. They were down 3-2 to New Milford with 5 minutes to go, 1 in regulation, 4-3. Today they were up to 1, and it looked like they were in control going into halftime, and then all of a sudden, this play in the back, Lyndhurst scores in the first minute of the second half. And from there, the confidence just grew. Brian Cosman with the game winner with 8 minutes to go, and handing Bergen home to the first loss of the season. And Lyndhurst, let me tell you, I mean, both teams were, had talent on the field. It was just a matter of, Lyndhurst seemed to get stronger as the game went on, and Bergen Charter just, wasn't as consistent with what they wanted to do, knocking the ball around. But I think Bergen Charter is going to be a player in the Bergen County tournament. I think it's going to be a real tough draw for somebody. And Lyndhurst, hopefully this win can springboard them to more success throughout the year.
Yeah, I mean, Lyndhurst has been a consistent and solid program under Dennis Jellich down there for a while now. They are playing with some emotion this year, too, for a lot of reasons. And, I've seen them win county games before. I don't remember the outcome last year against Fairlawn. I think Fairlawn won that game. But 2 years ago, I saw Lyndhurst on the road beat Hackensack in the opening round, too. So they're always dangerous. We should be, if Bergen Charter, kicks on from here, and I guess, avoids disaster over the next few days, they're going to make the Bergen County boys soccer tournament, and that would be the first time that a Bergen Charter team qualified for a, Bergen County tournament with exclusive criteria, So, good for them.
Yeah, and you got to give credit to Coach Travis Powers. I mean, this is his fourth year here. A lot of his team are seniors who have been there, on the field, taking their lumps since they were freshmen. And, the hard work that they put in as a program is finally paying off. And, you could tell, I mean, they're an organized unit. They just, have to cut down on those mistakes. And they're going to be a very tough out.
We will talk more about boys soccer momentarily, but let's switch our focus. We have reached that point in the show where it is time to welcome in our first guest on this edition of Hitting the Post. And it's weird to introduce this guy as a guest because, if I got my seasons confused, I might think that he's the co-host of It's Hockey Night here on NorthJerseySports.com. But being that this is fall, this is Hitting the Post, it's soccer season, we welcome in the one and only Kevin Sabella, the head coach of the Lady Rams of Ramsey High School. Coach, thanks for joining us as a guest here on Hitting the Post.
Well, this is quite a pleasure. I did have to look at the calendar and say, oh my goodness, it is fall.
Yeah.
But thanks guys for having me. This should be a good one. We got the county tournament obviously underway tomorrow. A lot of playing games. And Sunday we'll kick it off. But it's been a wacky season to say the least. I know we're going to dig into it here, but Ramsey speaking, we're off to a good start, and we'll go from there.
Yes, just please remember not to use the two-word phrase Alex Whalen at all during this episode. That is for the
we got to keep him. I got Abby on my team, so we got him on the speed dial for November, December. So we're good there.
Yes. All right. And also, I would like to just a side note for those It's Hockey Night fans. Quinnipiac opens the season at the University of Vermont, where my daughter attends. I hopefully, to be there and interview Alex Whalen if I am. Anyway.
Hey, hold on a second. Now, here we go. Before we get into soccer, we could set this up for the winter, Corey. We got Alex Whalen going against his former goalie and Ramsey goalie, Tyler Harmon, I believe, would be in the net for Vermont. I would have to double-check that with our other co-host of the Hockey Night, but we could set something up there.
Yes, and also Mickey Burns set to make his University of Vermont debut. Don Bosco alum. All right, forget it. This edition of Hitting the Post is over. Hockey has overtaken. Now, let's talk some soccer here, and we will get into the county tournament. I got my bracket sitting here right in front of me. It's filled out. I'm ready to make my picks and talk all about it. But before we do that, I want to talk to you about Ramsey girls soccer. First of all, to apologize. You are 7-1. 7-0 without Corey K. Doviak, the editorial director at NorthJerseySports.com, in attendance. So as you said, soccer-wise, Ramsey off to a good start unless I am in attendance.
Yes, absolutely. No, we're playing some good soccer lately. We're getting better by the day, which is what we want to do. We played a very good Paramus Catholic team today. We came out on top 2-0. We're starting to figure out what we want to do on both sides of the ball, as I say, offensively, defensively. We're playing a lot of girls, which is good. we have the winner for the county tournament. We have the winner of Pascack Hills, and then tomorrow night New Milford and Teaneck play, so we'll get that winner. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. I mean, we're healthy for the first time in a while. I know a lot of coaches I'm talking to are nicked up, and it's for good reason. I mean, there are a lot of games. I mean, I'm playing 3 weeks. I mean, it is a lot. Something I have to think about next year as far as scheduling independent games. But like I said, for the first time we're healthy. We're starting to figure out our rotation as far as what girls are getting in and stuff like that. But really starting to understand what we want to do. I mean, last year we had a great year, obviously getting to the county final and the sectional semis. And we were definitely a different team, like most teams are year by year. We're a little bit more technical, I would think, this year. But hey, we'll see. There's a lot of good teams out there, as we're going to talk about in a second here. But I'm happy where we are and certainly not satisfied.
Richie B., would you like to join our conversation?
I didn't want to interrupt you guys. You're having such a great time on your own. But
forgot you were here.
If you're going to talk Ramsey, me too. If you're going to talk Ramsey girls softball, it starts and ends with Mama's commit Alexa Correa, who last year showed throughout the county tournament how dangerous she could be up top, and is still as dangerous of a scoring threat as there is in Bergen County. But also, she's become more of a distributor. And, do you have her playing in the center of the field more, or is that just something, she's doubled and she's just going to find the open player?
We're kind of moving her all over, Richie. I mean, I talk to Alexa probably every other day. I mean, she's a sweetheart like the rest of the girls. She's a really cerebral player.
Aren't you the coach? You should talk to her every day.
Right.
Well, individually, but she's once she steps over the line, she's such a competitor. I mean, she's like a lot of good players. She's a little goofy, but as soon as she gets over the lines, I mean, she is so competitive. I can see why Mama wanted her. But as far as to answer your question, yeah, we're moving her around. She's trying some different spots, and yes, she's really starting to distribute the ball more. Quite honestly, I want to say she's got 4 or 5 goals. She should have about 12 this year. She should be past where she was last year. It just so happens either the goalie's making a nice save, she's just missing it. She might stub a couple. So, she's getting plenty of chances, like good goal scorers do. But now she's starting to realize, you know what, let me start to get rid of it a little bit more, involve my teammates. Not that she didn't do it last year, but she's really just become a more dangerous player. And then also, obviously, moving around helps out, too. But, we got a bunch of girls who can play in her spot as well. So that also allows me to move her around, which is great. But, yeah, she's having a great year for us. She's one of our 4 captains, and she's a great leader for us. Love coaching her.
Yep, and when I saw you against Ramapo, she stood out just for her motor. I mean, obviously, skill, everything. But, that was a tough game for you guys. They had possession for much of the second half, and she never stopped working to get the ball. I mean, never gave up on anything, and that's something you can't teach. Either you want to chase the hopeless ball or you don't, and she does.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, like I told you with the game. I mean, we learned a lot from that game. I learned a lot from our game. People forget, and I know Pascack Valley's in the same boat as Bean Hills. There was a lot of teams that had very good years last year.
Yep.
8, 9, 10 teams as far as the bigger schools. And now this year it's a little different. People graduated, a lot of girls. So did we. So, we lost 6 starters. So,
right.
5 new girls in facing the number 7 team in the state, Ramapo, and your second team of the year.
Right.
It was an eye-opener. And, we hung in there, as you saw. We hung tight. We certainly earned our goal.
Yep.
But it was a good learning experience. I don't want to, talk like it was a rec game, but, we saw a lot that we had to fix some things. If we see them again, that we got to do. So it was good. It was good to get them early and see them. But, they're one hell of a team, no question.
Yes, all right. So let's get into this. Oh, go ahead, Richie. All right, go ahead.
I actually had one more question. Obviously, we talked about Correa and what she could do, but also you have to have support behind her. And to have so many new players in the fold, and already through 8 teams, you've had 11 players find the back of the net. That's got to be pretty comforting that you have so many girls that, have a nose for the goal in the box. And, when you have that moving forward, that's how you make these deep runs in the county tournament, is to have that depth, especially up front.
No question about it. We were just talking about that after our game today. You know, I said, girls, if you're looking to play 80 minutes, go over to the tennis courts because you got the wrong coach. I mean, I played 18 girls today, you know, and that's in a 2-0 game. I mean, there's a lot of depth. I mean, I've been coaching for a while, even, you know, in my Riverdale days. I never had depth like this, so it's certainly helping us out. And you know, I'll be quite honest, that there's not a huge factor, you know, and that's comforting as a coach. And, you know, our practices are very competitive. They're fun, but they're competitive. And if you're not on your game and one girl's on your game, well, you know, I know this staff's going to say, okay, you got the nod. So that's kind of good at practice. It keeps everyone on their toes, which is great. Competition's always great. And yeah, we're starting to get, last year, Alexa I think she had 15 goals. And then our second goal scorer might have had 3. So, like, you know, it was pretty easy to see what you had to do to stop Ramsey last year. Wasn't easy, but this year, like you said, it's a little different, you know. Swanowit's got 4 goals. Kimmy Cregan's got 4 goals. Alexa's got 5 goals. Olivia Sebastian's got 1 or 2 goals. Helene Trebis. So, you know, we're getting, like you said, it's spread out and it's good, and I'm keeping fingers crossed it's not going to stop.
Yeah, all right, so let's talk about this county tournament now. As you mentioned, play-in games. We're taping this on Wednesday night. Play-in games start on Thursday. First of all, format. Do you like this, where the higher seeds, such as yourself, the number 3 Ramsey Rams, have a double bye? No play-in game and then a bye in the round of 32, the old first round, and right into the round of 16. Not specifically your team. You as a coach in Bergen County, do you like this format?
I gotcha. Yeah, no, as far as the seeds go to the top 4, I do like that. I mean, if you went through the gauntlet and you did what you had to do, you took care of your record, your schedule, I think it is deserving, no question about it. Certainly to an advantage to have a week where you can just relax for the most part and go watch a game. This is different, you know, on the boys' side at Riverdale, obviously it was, you know, when I was with the boys, it was more of a committee. Still is, I believe. Girls' side, at least you have a voice. There's pros and cons. I mean, that could be for another show as far as what we got to do.
Yep.
You know, I'm still kind of seeing if I like it. I'll be very honest that there's, you know, over 25 coaches in a room, and you have a couple minutes to see teams that you might or might not have seen. Some might say that's a pro. Some might say that's a con.
Right.
A pro, obviously, I can stand up. I can talk about if I played Midland Park. I can talk about them, which is great. They can talk about me. So there's a good side of it. It kind of, you know, you can talk about teams that you have played or at least seen. You do have your voice. So, you know, I don't understand how, I mean, if I was a coach at maybe a smaller school, I would love it. I mean, at least I could come in there and have a voice where, you know, other committees don't. Now, like I said, the con is, you know, at time I don't care about, but, you know.
Yeah, you got 2 little kids running around your house. You're coaching a soccer team and you're teaching classes and you're preparing for it's hockey night and hockey season as the head coach. You care about the time. I mean, come on.
No, I promise you. You can answer it. If you're going to do it, let's do it right. Do it for the kids. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what you want to do. Make sure you get the best possible teams in the situations. But, no, when you have, listen, you put 25 football coaches in a room, you're going to get, is it going to be, you know, it's going to be a while.
Yeah.
So, and everyone's going to have their opinion, and, you know, everyone's got, for good reason, their own agenda. You know, you want to take care of your own team and everything, but at the same time, you want to be fair. It's tough. So, you know,
there's a lot of upheaval and debate, not even talking specifically about girls soccer, but in all the county tournaments about way things are seeded, how the formats go, and you know it's a weird time in high school sports because of just the way it's going. You know, I feel like it's a time of transition and things are changing. You know, we got a football conference with 100 teams in it. That's different. The football playoffs are different. Some rumors and some rumblings about what's going on with the Bergen County Jamboree. I think. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely for another show. That'll be on the ball game here on NorthJerseySports.com. But, yeah, right. And my co-host, Richie Ballgame, who sometimes even gets a word in on that show.
All right.
But, you know, I applaud the idea of not just sticking with the status quo. I don't know what's right and what's wrong, and you never know until things you see the way everything plays out and everything else. I do know in Passaic County it has encouraged more teams to enter the county tournament, in basketball when you're not playing the number 1 seed as the 17th seed in that first round. And here, I feel like it could have similar benefits too. We'll see. Right?
You know what? And I'll say this last before we move on, and I'll probably get yelled at. I do think, and how can I say this? I just look at a county tournament as a prestigious county tournament.
Right.
And I know there's teams under 500, and Ramsey could be there next year and every year after that.
Right.
But I really, and I don't know if it'll change. I really don't. But, I mean, I just think you need to be at least 500. Or 650. That's what I liked about the boys. I'll be very honest.
Yep.
650 or 500 is basically in. It's a county tournament. It should be the proceed. I don't want to hear about hard schedules. I don't want to hear about nothing. You got to fight and claw your way. I'll give you an example this year with the girls. Who's done a great job is Amy Lombardo at Pascack Valley.
Yep.
I mean, she's got a young team. She had 2 losses last year. She lost 99% of her team, and she's fought her way. She lost 2-0 to Ramapo, and she's done a great job. And it's not a knock on the coaches, and it's not a knock on the teams. And I know obviously it didn't change this year, and it might not, but that's what the state tournaments are for. That's why there's teams that are under 500 that have great runs, and kudos to them. But I just wanted to get that out there. I'm not in favor of that. I know it probably will never change, but I just think county tournaments, and my buddy Jim Fusey and I used to always talk about that. County tournaments are county tournaments.
Listen,
I mean, it drives me nuts.
I've always been a big believer. 16 teams for every county tournament. Or, if you're going to do that, go 24 and have 1 round of playing. I think 32 is just a bit much.
I'm a 16 guy. I'm with you. And I don't, you know what? If you're going to have 25 coaches in a room and you're going to have a seeding committee or however you want to do it, I think you just seed 16 teams, regardless of record. These are the teams that we think are the 16 best, and I say that with the caveat that there should be that secondary tournament. In boys soccer, they have the Bergen Cup.
Yes.
In basketball, they have the BIT. The NJIC does some things and could, but because this is not where I was planning on going with this, but while we're talking about it here,
yes, sir.
There is a wide gulf now in high school sports between the top of the top, the middle, and the bottom. And, I just feel, everybody says, that 1 year when the 16 beats the 1. The gulf is so far between forget 16 and 1, the 32 and the 1, or in girls soccer that you talk about, it's just not going to happen. And to wait 10 years for it to happen is, to me, it's not worth everything else that goes along with it. I mean, it's an extra game you got to play. You could go out and schedule an independent that might help you with state tournament seeding, with your record, with your confidence, or if you're just banged up and you need to, all those things. Anyway, let's talk about the 2018 Bergen County Women's Coaches Association tournament. As we mentioned, you are the number 3 seed, but it's the 2 above you that I want to talk about because I saw Ramapo against you, and I will tell you, I was unbelievably impressed with Ramapo. The speed, it looked like a Northern Highlands team of the last couple of years. But I will say this too, I walked away from that field going, you know what, if I think Ramapo is as good as I think they are, and I think they're great, and you played them 2-1, and with a good goal at the end that you earned, as you mentioned, and a good play out of your keeper and some other things. So I'm not saying you're out of the question, but I am looking forward to this shootout, kind of almost as much as like the IHA Northern Highlands game of a few years ago when both teams were on that level too. So take off your Ramsey hat for a second and just, talk about the mythical matchup that could happen in the final should you not get there, because obviously we're rooting for you.
I hear you, man. I think they play this Tuesday, if I'm not correct, Tuesday night. I want to say they play in Highlands. We'll double-check that later. But, listen, they are up and down the field. If you turn over the ball to Ramapo in the middle of the field, you better drop your wallet and run back, because they move the ball fast and furious. They barely touch it. I'll say it. I mean, last year they had 1, 2, 3 girls, and they were very good. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
A little easier to contain. This year, as you see, I mean, they have one of the best fullbacks I've seen in Chico. They have a girl in the middle who wins every single ball. They have the Elton girl back from the academy. They have, obviously, Mary Claire. Then they have, who's the other girl? I forget the other. My point is, they have, as you saw, 4, 5, 6 girls who really are dangerous. So it's like, what hole are you going to fill or what fire are you going to put out? You try and stop Chico on the coming up the left side. Okay, no problem. We put Mary Claire on the right side and spread you out. So it's definitely a tall task for anybody. They have a lot of weapons. The 2 weapons that they got back are dangerous.
Yep.
And the defense is underrated. I mean, that center back did a nice job for us clearing every single ball. Two tough girls in the middle. Certainly, I think we have a game Tuesday, but certainly I think I'm going to try and get back and see that one. But, and then again, you have Tara. I mean, Tara's been the staple in Bergen County for years, in the state for years.
Yep.
Definitely different style than the Ramapo plays, definitely. So that'll be interesting to watch. What style will be played? Will it be more of the track meet, up and down, or will it be, kind of Highland style, settle it down a little bit more tougher, I would think, in the air and stuff like that. So I'm very interested to see that matchup. But yeah, Ramapo there's a lot to handle. Will be a lot to handle, and we'll go from there.
Yep. Go ahead, Richie B.
I think it's this county tournament is. Obviously, when you have IHA is kind of falling back to the pack a little bit this year.
An 11 seed. I don't know. In 20 years of doing this, I don't remember IHA ever being a double-digit seed. Now, got to give Coach Pfeiffer over there a chance to get settled and everything else and whatever's going on. But it is a little bit weird to see them playing in the first round rather than the second. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. Right, and again, as we talked about earlier, I feel like there is, a wide gulf between. There's Highlands and Rampo. You guys are that's below them, and then there are a clump of teams that are right below you. We're talking 4 through. You can name a number on the seeds. Really, that there's not that much difference. Well, I think in a weird way that almost makes it more of an interesting county tournament. Not because there are not as many teams that can really, get hot and get to a final, but there are a bunch of. I think you're going to see a lot of upsets in these first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I don't think there even is an upset in these first 2 rounds. If any of these teams won, you know what I'm saying? Like the quarterfinal. Or what? No, the round of 16 could be Old Tappan against Holy Angels, right? That would be the 5-12 game. I'm just saying, if chalk holds, the 5-12 game would be Old Tappan, Holy Angels. If a Holy Angels won that game and as the 12th seed, you wouldn't go, "Oh my God, that's a huge upset." It would be, they played better on that particular day. Not saying because Old Tappan could win that game too, and then even Demarest as the 4 seed sitting there. And they could, Richie, you saw Paramus Catholic this year. They're a solid side that could make a run, and if they wound up in the semifinals in that spot too, and they were the 13. Not saying it's going to happen, but it would not be surprising at all if it did.
But I'll give you an example. Westwood. I could see Westwood making it to the quarterfinals and getting Northern Highlands. I could also see them losing to the winner of Fairlawn and Park Ridge.
Right.
You never know. And with so many teams come together like that, that's what's going to make this first weekend interesting.
No, there's a lot of I'm now hopping over to the other side of the bracket. Rutherford, Indian Hills. If the Rutherford gets by Dumont, that's a good game.
Yep.
Lyndhurst, Hackensack, Emerson, and then Lyndhurst gets that winner. If Lyndhurst gets by, they get TV. That's a 7-10. Would anyone be surprised if Lyndhurst knocks off TV? No.
Yep. They've been building.
I'm actually picking that upset, by the way.
They're a good team. They're a good team. Us and Pascack Hills, we beat Pascack Hills 2-1. It was a back and forth game in the rain. They're a tough team. I mean, and then you got Ridgewood, like you guys mentioned before. You know, the Mawa Walford winner versus IHA. And then if chalk holds, IHA and Ridgewood, would anyone be surprised if IHA beat Ridgewood? Absolutely
right, or
not.
right.
You know?
You can see that happen, but you can also see IHA lose to Mawa and then Mawa move forward, or you can see Ridgewood. It's going to be crazy.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. And as coaches in the meeting talked about it the other night. I mean, everyone sees it, you know, and you better be ready to play. I mean, it's just one of those, happened to be one of those years. Last year we had, you know, 8 to 10 teams that were pretty solid, and this year it's dropped a little bit, but it happens.
Yeah, it's just the cycle of high school sports, and the fun thing about it is kind of like the NCAA basketball tournament, where the early rounds are all about the upsets and all the craziness, and then the later rounds are for the big boys. You know what I mean? So it has a similar feel to that, and I love the NCAA basketball tournament, so I think this should be good too. All right, Richie B, anything else? I mean, we've kept the Maven on. You know, just getting back to I was just going to say, getting back to it's hockey night. Kevin Sabella forbids shows to start after like 6 p.m. because he calls it nighty-night time. He likes to be tucked in early. Tonight, he's up past 9 o'clock. I mean, this is a big ask out of you, Kev.
Listen, I just put a newborn to bed to get on this show. He better come on.
Right.
Well, I told you guys, Corey. You know, I got home from our game. Then I had to do my daddy time with my daughter downstairs. Today was, let's see, what was she doing? She was doing my hair. I was pretending to be in the salon. I was told to be quiet. And then we had a dance party. I will never film one of those. And then that was it. Then it was time for a soccer night. So, you know, that was my night. And now I'm ready to go to bed.
Well, we are going to let you do that, sir. We appreciate you, and please send us a picture of the new hairstyle. We'd like to use it as a top shot of the day, please. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Kevin Sabella, head coach of the Ramsey Rams. We will talk to you soon, pal.
All right, boss. Guys, thank you for having me. I love it.
All right, Richie B. Good stuff as expected and as always with the Maven, Kevin Sabella, joining us here. And, you know, we can't ask if he was wearing his hockey hat, we could have asked him to make some predictions about the Bergen County girls soccer tournament because he's a coach. We're not going to put him in that position. That leaves it up to us to break this baby down. I don't think we have to go through every out-bracket game, but why don't you start? Give us your quarterfinalists.
Quarterfinalists, okay. I got Northern Highlands facing number 1 Northern Highlands facing number 9 Westwood. I have number 13 Paramus Catholic facing number 12 Holy Angels. I have Ramsey, the 3 seed, against 11 seed IHA, and I have 2 Ramapo against 10 Lyndhurst.
All right. No, I'll give you my quarterfinals. I got Highlands against Fairlawn coming from the out bracket and rolling through to the quarterfinals. I'm going to stick with, just because it would be a game that I would want to go cover for a myriad of reasons, I'm going to say it's number 4 Demarest against number 5 Old Tappan. Shocked, Richie B, there?
Unbelievable.
Then I will
really something else.
I will take Ramapo against Pascack Valley and Ramsey against Ridgewood. A lot of chalk in my bracket after we just spent a half hour, Kevin Sabella, saying how everything is not going to be chalk this year.
Let me tell you something. Demarest Old Tappan plays in the quarterfinals. Corey K. Doviak, first car in the park.
With a Dunkin' iced tea, for sure. Who's your semifinalists?
Semifinalists, I have Holy Angels against Northern Highlands and Ramapo against Ramsey.
All right, and this is bad. I'm going all chalk. I got Northern Highlands against Demarest and Ramapo against Ramsey. Next.
Way to go against the grain. I got Highlands and Ramapo in the final. Highlands wins 2-1.
All right, good. That's where we differ. I got Highlands and Ramapo in the final, and I got Ramapo winning 2-1. How about that? So, at least
one of us has to come out on top here.
Yes, absolutely. All right, that wraps up the Bergen County tournament before it even gets started. No need to watch it from here. We just told you what was going to happen. So let's move on to the boys' side of things. Our next guest this evening on Hitting the Post, a good time to get him. We got him trapped in his car. He's traveling around the congested and compacted roads of Bergen County. So he's ready to talk some soccer. He is Northern Valley Old Tappan head coach Mark Torrie. Coach, thanks for joining us here on Hitting the Post.
Corey, thank you for having us again. It's been a wee while, but hopefully this time you won't give me the kibosh like you did last time. So,
am I considered a black cat when I walk through that gate there towards your bench? Like, do you feel there is a superstition of ignominy coming behind you?
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I think the last time I talked on your show and that, I think we lost our next 2 games. So I think when I see you in person, I think you're much more lucky than we were just talking over the phone. So hopefully it'll not be the same this year.
I thought you were going to say I was much more handsome, but I guess I'll settle with lucky. So 5-0, this Golden Knights team here, and listen, you guys made the great runs last year. You won a state sectional championship. You made it to the final of the Bergen County tournament. You played a great game in the Bergen County final. You missed your Halloween party for it. I remember that.
Yeah.
You lost, Sam Kang was a big part of that team, Colin Eifert in the back, and you guys have retooled and through 5 games, 5-0. So were you expecting this kind of start?
I was kind of hoping for this kind of start. We haven't really started well, to be honest. We've always finished fairly well. But as I was looking at the program in general, I was like, all right, we got to figure out what to do, how to bring this together. So, this year we went up to... We went to Connecticut for 4 days with a varsity squad only, and we played 3 really good sides up there. But we spent a lot of time bonding. We did some different things up there. We played foot golf, we went to the beach for a day, and I'll tell you what, the Connecticut sound is not like the Jersey Shore. I'll give you, there's no waves or nothing, but it's not like the Caribbean. You can't see your feet or nothing. So, but it was great. We got together and we spent a lot of time together, and I felt like it really helped.
Yeah, I mean, that team building definitely does, and you think that helped parlay you into the start. Now, talk about some of these kids here. I saw you against Indian Hills. I mean, you guys look devastating. Again, you like to run a bunch of strikers up top and, you get the ball in the middle of the field and look up. You guys do it as well as anybody. Talk about some of these kids who have, I know you got some experience. You have a mix of youth. Talk about them.
It's funny because people asked me, "Do you get better than you were last year?" It's tough because a lot of the boys that played last year are back. Right. The only difference is that they're a year older. So how much better are they from last year? I'm not sure. What I do think is that being together and playing together and playing in the same positions, and that's definitely helped them. If you look at the stats, obviously Quinn Shearer's off to a good start, and Danny Ewan as well, but we expected that from Danny, who's returning. I think he's one or two, right, that was first team All-County last year. So, but it was the question marks were, how's it going to be with Sam gone? How we got, and Dine scored quite a lot of goals for us last year. So, we have 5 boys or 6, but 5 boys that we've been rotating up front, and they've all scored at least one. So. And they've been getting assists as well. So, again, I think it's more of a team effort rather than some sort of individual thing. So,
you mentioned Quinn, and Quinn Shearer is a senior. He waited his turn. I know he was injured last year. I think that shows the depth of your program, that somebody from within steps into that spot, and you haven't skipped a beat goal-scoring-wise.
Yeah, I think so. I think, Quinn, we have... last year I did the GPS trackers, which the club, the Northern Valley Soccer Club, helped me out with. If you see Quinn's numbers, practice numbers, his game numbers, he's number 1 on the team. He's number 1 on the team for that, So every day he's training hard and that. And I think for him, for me looking at him, he realizes this is his opportunity. This is his chance. He didn't get a chance last year because he came in with a knee injury, so it wasn't even cleared until about 3 or 4 weeks in. So. We had a senior laden team that year in those positions up front.
Yep.
And so he's bit his time. He's always in the gym. He's fit, but I think he's very determined. So I think we're seeing the fruits of that. And hopefully that will continue.
Yeah, and another guy like Anthony Contreras, a third-year starter for you in the middle of the field too. He's kind of
Right.
He's kind of what makes you go. He's experienced. He's quick. He picks out people going forward, and he can beat people off the dribble himself.
Right. I mean, I think the middle of the park for us is definitely a strong part. You've got Joe Moon in there in the number 6 role, who's the 3-year starter as well.
Yep.
You've got Robert Kim, who's the 2nd-year starter, and you're like, so he's. But I mean, Anthony, I think anyone that watches the game, his stats probably don't reflect it right now, but I'm sure that'll change as we go along. But anyone that comes to watch a team play, he's going to be like, Anthony's one of our best players. So I'm excited to see how he continues to develop and how he continues to in his role in the middle of the attacking centre midfielder. So hopefully he'll get a few more assists, maybe some goals, and that just to. That kind of complement what he is actually doing out there on the pitch,
Yep. Yeah. All right, next question for you. What do you make of this Bergen County soccer this year? I mean, it's a little bit different than it has been in years past. And by saying different, I mean Ramapo has lost a regular season game. So, Ramsey is very undefeated. You guys, I was down on Monday. I saw Cliffside Park play. I was supremely impressed with them. Bosco has 2 losses. You don't count out the non-publics when the county tournament comes around. I'm not saying that at all. But I think, trying to pick a definite, you guys are undefeated, but trying to pick a definite favorite in the Bergen County tournament this year is not easy, and I think that's going to make it fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can, right? I think that, there are a lot of good sides out there, and it's different this year. We're 5-0, but we haven't played a league game yet.
Right.
So,
the changes in the league are crazy.
Last year we'd be front runners right now for the league because we'd already gone through all 5. We would have won all 5 games, and now we'd be going into the crossovers. This year, we were supposed to play against Ramapo last night, but obviously the weather wasn't very good.
Right.
And we ended up not playing. So that game's going to get pushed, and then we'll, from try and find our way in the league first. But I think, like you said, there's so many. I think this is always the case. There's so many good teams out there that can beat anyone on any given day, and there's still quite a few teams that are undefeated that are good players. Get good players, get good coaching staffs, get good younger players, and there seems to be much more reloading as we're moving forward here than maybe before. So, that obviously bodes well for the sport. So.
Yeah, well, I think it's, we should get into this because this is one of my oddball questions for you. You are the head soccer coach at Old Tappan High School, but you have a problem with that, right? Isn't that correct in the terminology to describe the sport? Yeah. Because Brian Dunn is the head football coach.
He's kidding people on, right? He's kidding people on, not too many times the foot touches the ball in that sport, right? So let's be honest, right? I'm the head football coach over at Old Tappan, right?
Yes.
I think that's a given. And his title's up in the air. I'm going to think of a few things to throw at him, and hopefully he accepts, because I don't think he's going to have much options,
I like the one that you proposed to me when I last saw you, when you said Brian Dunn is the head handball coach at Old Tappan.
He's doing a great job. He really is, but I just don't think his title does him justice.
Correct. You speaking of the football / soccer over at Old Tappan, I was there on Friday night for the American football game. Stands were packed. You guys are kind of doing the same thing when you have these night games. I think the interest, it's great to see in soccer, not only in number of participants, because in football we talk all the time about how numbers are declining. I'm sure you've seen a surge just in your time from Demorest and Old Tappan, in your coaching stints, and kids, you're starting to draw some community support too. You used to during state playoffs and everything else, but now the bigger games, people are showing out for you.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot more soccer on TV as well, but I think that's just the community spirit within the school itself. And the night games are fun, they're special, and the game against Valley the other night there, we had a really, really big crowd, and they brought a big crowd as well, which was interesting because both football teams were playing at the same time. Our team was up at Wayne Hill, so you can forgive them for not travelling there, but I think their football team was playing over at Paramus, and I'm not sure if people left from that game to come over or decided they were going to come and support their soccer team, but But yeah, I think that is a fair point, and hopefully that continues to grow, because that's what makes high school sports special, right? When you play club sports and that, you're playing in front of, like 3 men and a dog, and and the energy level, the nervousness, the central nervous system's not affected the same way as when you're playing in front of like 500 of your peers. Every time you make a mistake, it weighs on you. Every time you do something great, you grow in confidence. So I think if we can continue to do well, because I think that plays into it as well, and have kids and their parents and the soccer community, buy in, then I'm all for it, because it is a great experience for the kids, and that's what the high school sports scene should be about, right?
Yeah. I mean, you are a newly minted American citizen, which congratulations on that, by the way.
Thanks.
But you are a native Scotsman, and it's set up differently there. I would imagine. I don't know for sure. Actually, I've never asked you this question. But what is the difference in youth soccer in Scotland as compared to what it is here, where you do, as you say, have the opportunity to play in front of big crowds not even big crowds, like community support? Do you get that in Scotland, right? Or is it more not?
Nah, not really, because there's no sports through the high school, right? Through the schools, like schools for academics, right? Colleges or universities in Scotland are for academics, not for sports. So
okay.
I think culturally it's a big thing for Americans, right? So it's for academia, not for athletics. So, but I think that the way the system is here, it just rounds out the high school experience, right? It rounds out a kid that struggles in school, has it, but excels on the athletic field, whatever, or excels with drama, in the band, whatever it might be. It gives them a reason to keep coming back to school.
Yeah.
And they can contribute to the society in a positive way. So that's a big difference. With schools in Scotland, I've got a friend over right now from Scotland, and he's stunned at the amount of kids that come to the games and support, because nobody would do that.
Right.
Back when it'd be freezing cold and probably piss and rain anyway, but
right. In August or July.
Yeah, exactly, in the warmest area. But so he's kind of taking on it. His wife's actually, she was a high school teacher, and she's here, and she just sees the difference, and she's enthralled by it. The community mindedness and the school spirit that we have here. So I hope that can continue, because I think it's important. It gives kids things to do. It makes everyone feel like they belong to something bigger than themselves.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%, and that's why I'm always on the soapbox about high school sports are an extracurricular activity played by high school students. So and when you take it when it gets to a level more than that, it's when I walk away, because I'm not interested in sub-professional or sub-college or academy. You're playing for the name on the front, and it's great tradition around here too.
Right.
Two more things I got to mention. We do play in the same fantasy Premier League soccer league, and I noticed that you are two places behind me. Me being in first.
I saw that.
Does that bother you?
I think that just no, it doesn't bother me. You know what it does? To me, it just reinforces that what a great job you do as promoting soccer. You're obviously knowledgeable. The fact that you're beating me, speaks volumes. But I will remind you that the season is young. We had international breaks there, right? I'm about to blow up my team. Your daughter taught me how to do that, and I'm just going to basically from now on, I'm going to be winning each week, and I'll come back. So I'm in third, so I'm not the worst. But I'm starting off slow, but I'm gaining momentum as we speak, and now it looks like I'm going flying downhill.
I will just say 2 words. Bring it, Torrie. Oh, wait, that's 3 words. The other thing I want to ask you about is, when was the last time, and I don't know if there is an answer to this, I probably should have looked it up, but in your lifetime, that neither Celtic nor Rangers were top of the table in the Scottish Premier League?
Here, hang on, I've got my mate with me. Here, when was the last time that either Celtic or Rangers were on top of the table? Yeah, the last time that nobody, Celtic or Rangers were on top of the league. Yeah, Celtic's won the last 7 years in a row, so there might have been a week or two at the start when they weren't at the top, but Nelson Graham from Wayne Hills, his team's top league,
Hearts of Midlothian.
That's his team.
Yes.
Heart of Midlothian, they're at the top, yeah.
And you're a Dundee fan, is that correct?
Dundee United, yeah, they're not even in the top flight anymore. they're struggling, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better.
What are they? Second division Scotland? I mean, that's almost like being in the MLS.
No. I'm telling you what, like the MLS, I don't know. Like, I'm a Red Bulls fan, and
Red Bulls fanatic, by the way. For anybody who follows Mark Torrie's Twitter. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, most of the teams that pump, the MLS teams that pump the Scottish Premier League teams. So, with the exception of maybe Celtic, the Scottish Champions League experience, and that, although they're struggling right now, like, I think people would be amazed at how good the level is over here, and people make fun of it because, like, guys like Bradley Wright Phillips, who struggled, in England, to be fair, has done so well, and they think it must be a bang average league, but I don't think so, and it's growing, and it's getting better, and, like, you get, like, Atlanta United there who are, selling 60,000 a game, I think that it's on the up and up, and I'm an MLS proponent. I hate that Euro snobbery, so...
Good. Remind me never to start an MLS fantasy league with you. I don't know anything about it. Until they get promotion relegation, I'm not interested. Because teams could just... Yeah. Then it's like watching the NBA. Teams could just mail it in the middle of the season, and nothing happens to them.
Right. But they don't... But in the MLS, I will say in the MLS, they're not even using the draft anymore because the academy's set up and so on. They don't really use the draft too much. So it's not like in the NBA where boys have to come in through the draft, and you're getting the best players. You're not getting the best players through the draft, so you might get a few diamonds here or there, but for the most part, teams are not recruiting that way. So,
hey, do you think? Do you like that model? I mean, would you like to see the football model, American football model, American basketball model, where you have to kind of build through the draft, or do you like the? It all plays into what U.S. soccer wants to do, and who knows what they really want to do.
Yeah, but if you look at like the Red Bulls, and again, I'm a fan, so I might be biased about the Red Bulls, but look at the number of players they've got as homegrown players that are playing or have played and have gone on to bigger things. So I think some of the teams have struggled with their academies, but I think that you can't say the same for the Red Bulls, and especially in the area that we live in, right? They've done very well. So, I like the draft. I like the idea of I like the idea of salary caps and stuff as well, to make it. Cause, most soccer clubs run on a loss. It's only the English Premier League and some of the bigger teams that actually make money. So the fact that the MLS has 22, 23 years later is still in business, still expanding, still getting bigger. It's a phenomenal thing for US soccer, and long may it continue.
All right, Dundee United out, Red Bulls in. We get it. Mark Torrie, head coach of the Northern Valley Old Tappan Fighting Gold Knights. Always a pleasure to talk to you, and I still, I've accepted your invitation for an after-dinner cordial, but yet I still have not received an official invitation.
I know. I gotta get you sorted with that. I invite so many people to my house, and then my wife's always blowing up my spot, so I have to get that sorted out, because it's no way to treat such a, I think I'm gonna wait until I beat you in the league, and then I'll invite you over. So it'll taste that just a little bit sweeter.
Okay. And on that night, too, you can also present me with my Bergen County Coaches Association award. Is that still rattling around in your truck?
It's still in my office.
Mark Torrie, thanks for joining us, as always, on Hitting the Post.
All right, thanks, Corey.
All right, Richie B, I'm soccered out. Great stuff with Kevin Sabella. Great stuff with Mark Torrie. And it's Soccer Month on NorthJerseySports.com, Richie B. What else would you like to say?
I better get a good night's sleep tonight, because for Soccer Month, we are going pedal to the metal, and we're going to go all the way through to the county final.
We will see you next week on Hitting the Post.
Follow the leader.